Okay, so this is my first time trying out this program, so let's see how well it works. First things first, make sure you type your name or write your name on the handout. And today's date is the 5th. Okay. I'm receiving way too much work from my other classes that don't have either the name or the class, but you guys are my only AP Environmental Science class, and I haven't really had that issue. So let's go ahead and do some practice problems. I think what most students forget to do is to read the directions. Okay, so in the directions it says to earn full credit for your answers, you need to have the appropriate formula, the correct substitutions, and you need to circle or box your answer, including the correct units. So if the units can be people, the units can be square kilometers, the units can be square miles, whatever you guys need to do for the correct units. Right. So the first question, 1,270 deer are living on an island that is 635 square kilometers in size. What is the population density of the deer per square kilometer? So, So what you're looking for, your goal for this problem is square kilometers, okay? So not only square kilometers, but the number of deer per square kilometer. So that's going to be your final unit, all right? So let's look at the information given to us. 1,270 deer, and they're on an island of 635 square kilometers. So again, I'm typing this out, but you guys will be writing this out, and you could write it on a separate sheet of notebook paper. So I want you guys to do simple division, 1,270 deer over 635 kilometers, and that will give you your final units of deer over square kilometers. All right, and I modified the numbers so that they're easier to divide. So I'll give you guys a moment to think about what your answer will be. And remember, no calculators, just like the AP exam. All right, so by now you should have figured out that the answer is simply 2, right? If you divide the number of deer by the number of square kilometers, you're going to get 2 deer per square kilometers. And at this point, what you would do is you would box your answer. Since, again, I'm typing, I'm just going to highlight them. So here I would have received my 1 point for the correct formula, my 1 point for the correct substitutions. In this case, there's not really a lot of substitutions. You just have to know where to plug in. Okay, so deer in the numerator, square kilometers in the denominator. And then I have my answer clearly labeled. All right. Let's go ahead and skip down to number 5 for our next practice problem. So number 5, a small country of 700,000 people has 34,000 immigrants and 6,000 emigrants. They also experience 15,000 deaths, 36,000 births. And so it finally asks, what is the growth rate of this small country? So I want you guys to take a moment, look at your notes, try to figure out how are you going to calculate growth rate, try to figure out what adds to a population and what subtracts to a population. So remember that births and immigration with an I, remember that's for in, add to an area's population. While deaths and emigration with an E, like an exit, subtract from an area's population. So what you're going to do to find the growth rate, you're going to take the number of births plus the number of immigrants, and you're going to subtract you're going to subtract all deaths and all immigrants. But not only are you going to do that, you're going to do that simple addition, simple subtraction, but you're going to take that as a numerator. You're going to take that sum and you're going to divide it by the initial population. So in the case of our small country, all right, we have how many births? 36,000. We have how many immigrants? 34,000. We're going to subtract the number of deaths, okay, which is 15,000. And then we're also going to subtract, and remember this subtraction distributes itself, so it's minus 15,000 and minus whatever value we're going to put here, okay. The number of immigrants, which is going to be 6,000. Remember, this is our numerator, and we're going to divide it by the initial population, and the initial population has 700,000 people in it. So after you do that, after you plug it in, you should get a certain value. I'm not going to write down that value, you should know it. And then that value, remember, it might be in a decimal, so you're going to have to multiply it by 100 to get the percentage, okay? Let's move on to question number 6. So whatever you get for your growth rate, remember that magic number 70 in terms of doubling time. So you take 70 divided by whatever you got for your answer for your growth rate from number 5, and you're just gonna do 70 divided by that number to get your answer. Okay. There are several questions here. Some are about China, some are about Canada, some are about California. Okay. So let's go ahead, and I want you guys to try to figure out the rest for me. Let me just scan real quick if I want to pick out one that might be particularly difficult. And just note, not all of these are math. Some ask for reasons, okay? Some ask for reasons why one country would be interested in its doubling rate, okay? So you have to think of reasons that would be specific to maybe a developing country, to an undeveloped country, to a developed country. Everything else seems to kind of reinforce what we've done so far. This one, I remember when I did this, it kind of took up a whole sheet. So be generous with the amount of paper you're going to use. I think I used 3 sheets of paper, okay? So for these 31 problems, 3 sheets of paper. If you end up scratching out a lot of stuff, or if you write big, then you might end up using more paper. Please don't write too small, because I'm going to be grading this work, okay? Again, I'm not looking just at your final answer, I'm looking at your whole thought process. And so, you guys, I wish you the best of luck. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, okay? I don't know if I'll be able to reply back right away. My little brother is having his birthday, so we're kind of celebrating as a family this weekend. So I'll try to get back to you before Tuesday, before your free response exam. But if not, then I'll just see you guys on Tuesday. Okay, best of luck.